The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. I am your host JD, and with me is my beautiful co-host, Mr. Kyle.
I'm more gorgeous than beautiful.
Yeah, sure. You're a beautiful man, a gorgeous man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So anyway, this week, we are going to be talking about the last few Toonami Tyent events that we didn't get to, I think back in February or March. I don't know. It was earlier this year to celebrate Toonami's 20th anniversary. We talked about all of the Intruder Tyent events, 1 through 3. So there's 3 more that I felt were relevant, and I think that's all of them. I figured we'd just get the rest of them out of the way before the end of the year, since I think actually the last one we'll talk about today just wrapped up a couple weeks ago. So, yeah.
Better be the last ones.
They'll never be done, Kyle. Our work is never done.
Unless Toonami gets canceled again.
Oh. I mean, I don't watch Toonami because I don't have cable at the moment, but I hope it doesn't. That would be sad. Alright, so, first up for today, we're going to be talking about the Tyent event Lockdown, which is from 2001. This is still from pretty early Toonami. I think this is Tom 2.
The best one.
Yeah, Tom 2 is pretty great. But basically this one involves that Tom and Sarah kind of come across a abandoned ship that is sending out an SOS signal, and they end up getting sucked in to its tractor beam and basically have to find a way to get themselves unstuck from it.
Tractor beam that lasts 100 years.
Yeah. So something I kind of noticed about at least this one and the next one we'll talk about is that it's very, because the early Toonami Tyent events had like online flash games that would obviously tie in with the animation that they played during the week, and this one and the next one are very obvious that you need the game for context. So for like this one, Tom would send out his like army of like drone robots to like go investigate the other ship, and the flash game that you could have went and played back in the day is that you basically join a team and you control the drones to go, investigate and fight off what's-its and stuff. I don't know. So at least for the version we watched, it was kind of cool because what they had included was the little segments where Tom like addressed the audience like, hey, you guys on Earth, go to Toonami.com and play our game and, help us, get unstuck from this thing, which is kind of cool. Back in the day, I remember when they used to do these. It was just kind of an early kind of how we have like these ARG events with like movies and stuff nowadays. It was kind of cool to have like a kind of an early days version of that. And they even included a little bumper from one of the commercials that like gave you a code you could input in the game that would like beef up your robots or something. So I thought that was kind of cool. Kyle, you're not like a huge Toonami fan, so what did you think of this?
It was pretty meh.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even show... They didn't even show who was in that other ship.
They sure don't.
I just assumed it was Moltar.
Maybe. Moltar's dead now. That's so sad.
It really is. But no, I just... The other ones are cool because it was like, here's a bad guy. But this one, it was just like, something happened.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Yeah, this is kind of like the first tie-in event that... I think it's the only tie-in event that doesn't have, like, an antagonist, per se. I mean, the ship, obviously, is the antagonist, but there's no, like, character that's being the antagonist.
It doesn't really need an antagonist. It just, like, needs to be interesting, and I didn't think this was interesting at all.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was, like, a fun little short adventure stuff.
We're slowly being sucked away. Slowly. Yeah. And it's just like, well, they're robots. Like, they're gonna last forever anyways. Why do I care about them?
Well, what they were saying is that the ship's reserves will run out after a while.
Oh.
Before they would get out of the tractor beam. So there's that at least.
I guess.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought this was cool. And just because in the sense I like these little events because I think the little bit of lore that they gave you to, you know, the Toonami universe, I guess you would call it, just like bits of Tom doing stuff. I like these little events because it just kind of fleshes that out a little more, and you get to see them do little adventure stuff. And I think in terms of just like a little adventure, I think it's fine, but yeah, I agree with you. I think it's kind of like, it's just like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did look up what the grand prize for winning the, being the best in the game got you, and apparently this is back when the GameCube first came out, so the top prize was you got a Nintendo GameCube in 6 games.
Oh shit.
And man, see, that's what I miss about Toonami is that like every freaking week they would have like, here's a giveaway. It's like, hey, want a bunch of Gundams? Or hey, you want a bunch of Dragon Ball action figures?
I remember the best one was like every Beast War ever made.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. It stopped being so much toys, but like once, like after 2000, it started being like video games and stuff. So I swear there was one where you could get like an N64 or a PlayStation or something. It really seemed like they favored Nintendo.
Like a GameCube and 6 games, that's like $120 value now.
Nowadays, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, and for this is, like I said, this is still pretty early days Toonami, so the animation in this, and especially the next one, is not like great. It's like just above. It's just above where Reboot and Beast Wars was. Which isn't to say it's not good, because I feel like style can go a long way, and I feel like the kind of grungy space aesthetic that they've got going on, like the just metal and all that kind of stuff, I think is a good aesthetic style that they've got going on.
It's better than what I can do.
It's true. Sure. Even people from the late 90s, early 2000s doing that kind of CG work is still better than anything we could do.
Yep.
So I guess I can't complain too much. Yeah. So the next one we wanted to talk about was, and which I feel we
wanted to, I mean, or I do. You wanted to.
I asked you if you wanted to do this or not. I gave you an option. Anyway, the second one we're going to talk about is called Trapped in Hyperspace, which I don't know about you, Kyle. I kind of felt was the weakest of the three that we're going to do tonight.
I like the bad guy.
The non-explained computer virus bad guy.
Yeah, I liked him, but other than that, I can't really tell you much what happened other than he was trapped in Hyperspace.
Yeah, so basically, for some reason, the Absolution, which is, you know, Tom and Sarah's spaceship that they broadcast Toonami from, is just taken over by some virus, and his name is Swayzak, and he's just this orange polygon man. And they don't explain how he took over the ship or why he's doing it. He just is. I think they even ask him why, and he says he's just doing it for fun. Which I really hate that explanation for why bad guys do stuff.
I mean, do you do stuff for fun?
I mean, I do, but I don't be evil for fun. I don't fuck with people's lives for fun.
Okay, but knowing me, am I evil for fun? Do I fuck with people for fun?
You're not evil, Kyle. I think I'd put you in the anti-hero column.
Okay, I'll take it.
So, like with Lockdown, this one especially, the way it's structured, really relies on you have played this Flash game that goes along with it. Because basically, there's points in this miniseries that Tom will download himself into the computer, the ship's computer, and it basically just has him plugging in, and it'll fade to white. And then when it comes back, because obviously why we watched it was just a compilation on YouTube, it just fades back in and him coming out of it. Because when I was looking this up, the mini game is just you're navigating through the ship's computer with Tom like that. So I feel like this one more, rather than Lockdown, felt like a complete story that just happened to have a video game that you could go play. But I feel like this one is more like I'm watching cutscenes from a game with all the gameplay cut out.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean the bad guy design I think looks cool. I don't know if they ever did anything else with him. I don't know if he ever comes back in the future.
He reminded me of a bad guy from Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
He does kind of look like that vampire robot.
Exactly. Nosferatu.
Jesus, that show is a gem.
I need to rewatch that again. It was pretty great. And Patrick Warburton, man.
Earlier this year, I watched a couple episodes of it, and it's not bad. It's a fun little adventure show.
I found out Neil Flynn was the robot too.
He was
awesome.
Because I think Larry Miller was the voice of him for a while, and then Neil Flynn took over for him.
Neil Flynn is my favorite.
He's the janitor from Scrubs.
He is.
He's a cool guy.
He's from that show, The Middle.
I watched a little bit of The Middle. I didn't think it was bad, but I never watched it.
It's not good either.
I think it's finally ending, though. Or has ended. I don't know. I don't keep up with sitcoms anymore.
Me either.
But, so, Trapped in Hyperspace was released a year after, I actually think almost a year exact. Let's see. September. Yep. It was mid-September in 2002. So obviously the animation is the same quality as Lockdown. It's not great, but there's enough style there that I think it kind of makes up for it.
It cost $14 million to produce.
I think they had a budget of $5 for making all of Toonami. I mean, the creators of Toonami have said on multiple occasions that Cartoon Network gave them zero budget to work with. So the fact that they got this done in the first place is a miracle.
Damn you, Mike Laszlo.
Mike Lasso. But so yeah, Trapped in Hyperspace I feel is more it's not as a complete story, because I feel like unless you had the gameplay put in, it kind of feels like you're missing some spots. And yeah, it pretty much ends with oh, well, we beat the virus, and Sarah's fine now.
We got him, guys! What fucking happened?
Exactly. So I mean, it's fine. It's another just little adventure for Tom and Sarah, but honestly, I feel like it's the most incomplete of all of the tie-in events in terms of storytelling. Did you have any thoughts, Kyle?
No.
All right then. And sorry if it feels like we're kind of blowing through these. I mean, these are only like maybe 5 to 10 minutes long altogether, so it's not too much to process. So I think it was last year, or no, I guess it was this year. I don't know when Intruder 3 was. But since Toonami started coming back on Adult Swim, I think they've been trying to make an effort to kind of get back to doing these tie-in events with with the characters, and I think they've been kind of trying to flesh them out more with the bumpers and stuff. So last November, they did a third sequel to the Intruder series that they've been doing. But this November, that wrapped up right after Thanksgiving, was a new tie-in event called Countdown. Okay, I keep calling them tie-in events. Apparently they're called Total Immersion Events.
Were you totally immersed? 'Cause I wasn't.
Sure. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, back in the Hyperspace one, the grand prize for winning that was you got a GameCube and a copy of Mario Sunshine.
I'd be down for that.
See, I'm totally down for that. Mario Sunshine's a good game.
It's a good show.
So with this being made in 2017, obviously the production value of this and the Intruder 3 were a lot better. I think nowadays the Toonami bumpers and the tie-in events that they're doing they look really good, I think. Even for being what's probably on a shoestring budget. So basically the plot of this one is that Tom is trying to show off his grand artwork that he's been working on, and is somehow sucked into the future and replaced with his future self in the present, because apparently Sarah goes evil in the future, and he needs to come back and stop her before she becomes evil. Does that sound about right?
Sounds about right.
I mean, this has like a time travel thing, and it's kind of confusing a little bit. They try to explain it. So Tom of the future switches places with present day Tom, so present day Tom is now in the future, and they explain it in the fact that like the same matter can occupy the same space at the same time, so that's why they had to switch places, I guess.
I'll buy it.
Sure. Back to the Future rules. Fuck them. So yeah, basically future Tom comes and plants a bomb on the ship. So basically he wants to destroy Sarah before she becomes evil. Meanwhile, present Tom is in the future trying not to die from all the Clyde robots that have been, taken over by Sarah, because Sarah has basically gone full brainiac and wants to destroy all organic life in the universe. And it turns out the reason she's gone evil is because they flew through some nebula and it glitched the system, and now she's evil.
Well, I'll buy it, I guess.
I guess. But I like this one. I think, because Tom and Sarah through the years have kind of had like this kind of witty back and forth where it's like, yeah, they're friends, but they give each other shit a lot. But this one kind of showed that like, Tom kind of wants to like, well, he doesn't want to just continue the status quo. He wants to be like actual friends with her, not just kind of like shitty friends with her. And they kind of get there at some point where Tom kind of gets real for a minute, where he's like, I'd give my life for you if I had to. So I thought that was kind of sweet.
That's how I feel about you sometimes.
Aw, thanks.
But that's because I value my life very low.
Aw. Kyle, you need to think high of yourself. So yeah, I don't know. What did you think about this one, Kyle?
It was cool.
I mean, you don't have to sugarcoat it for me if you don't want to.
It was amazing. Blew me away. I was like, oh shit. The ship exploded. He was in space and he was a robot and he didn't have to breathe. All because of a drawing.
It's true. Basically, all this all gets set in motion because Sarah didn't have the heart to tell Tom his art sucks.
And then she clapped.
Constructive criticism goes a long way, guys.
It does.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because a lot of the tension gets taken out where it's like the ship explodes in the future and then future Tom is just floating out in space. It's like, well, good thing he doesn't have to breathe or anything.
Yeah.
Though I do kind of like that there is some continuity with these because I saw on Toonami's Facebook page they posted like a new game review that they aired over the weekend or whatever, and Tom is now all scratched up from the event, so I guess that's just the thing now. Which I think is kind of cool that they keep continuity with that stuff, like for was ostensibly like show bumpers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I grew up watching these characters. It's kind of nice that, you know, they get fleshed out every now and then like that. I don't know if I've asked you, Kyle, but like, did you ever really watch Toonami when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, I was anime's #1 fan back in the day.
No, you weren't.
Well, there's your answer.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's a quick thing for you there. I mean, yeah, these Toonami events are, you know, they're not the most spectacular thing in the whole world, but I don't know, they're fun little adventures, something to watch for 5 to 10 minutes. I feel like I get more out of these if I watch them back when how they were originally shown. Like back in the day, I remember watching like The Intruder, and I think I remember watching Lockdown as a kid. So it was kind of cool to like see these air like every afternoon for like 2 minutes. Like, all right, now go play the game online and help us do this thing. So I don't know. As a kid, that's kind of cool. You know, you're working your way towards a prize. So what's better than that? Man, Toonami needs to bring back their sweepstakes. We got the internet now, so we can just like, hey, tweet us and follow us on Instagram and shit, and then you'll be entered to win a prize, sponsored by Crunchyroll or something.
Whoa.
Or Frederator or something, I don't know.
You can win a Nintendo Switch.
I'd be down for that. Switches are expensive, especially for my price range.
Yeah, I bet they are.
They are. I'm poor as fuck. But, so yeah. There you go, guys. That's a little something, little pre-Christmas review there for you. I'm sure I say this literally every time we bring Toonami up, but in the comments, you know, let us know what your favorite Toonami memories were. Did you have like a favorite sweepstakes they did, or did you have a particular favorite tie-in event that you liked? And hell, tell us if you actually like participated in those Flash games, because I'd be interested to know, you know, how that really worked back in the day. And yeah, let's start petitioning Toonami to bring back sweepstakes.
No.
Fine, you're not invited to the petition then.
Okay.
Alright guys, so we'll be back next week with some Christmas merriment. But until then, I guess we'll catch you all later.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can catch a new episode every week. Also be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Twitter so you can keep up with the show. Links are in the description. We'll see you next week.